You ever watch somebody dig a hole so deep they start looking around like the shovel wasn't in their hands the whole time? That's exactly what you're about to sit through, right? A grown man on camera trying to prove America is deporting its own citizens, and the only name he can pull up is the man who entered illegally, trafficked people, beat his wife, and got tied to MS-13. We're going to not argue in feelings today. We're going to watch these receipts walk in one after another. So let's go ahead and start.
Can you name an American citizen who's been deported?
You're not naming an American citizen that has been deported?
Yeah. There hasn't been one, under this administration at least.
Hey, yo, somebody that does this, that's like focus on ICE, they can tell you the American citizens, because I know them off the top of my head, but I don't know their name.
There hasn't been one.
No, they have American citizens that they deport that they have to even bring back.
Find me a news article that shows that.
Google it right now.
Google it, I dare you. It's not there.
Google it right now. What you mean? They didn't bring Abrego, whatever his name is from...
Kilmar Abrego Garcia was an illegal immigrant.
They didn't bring him back?
No,
they wasn't forced to bring him back?
He wasn't an American citizen.
Did they bring him back?
They did bring him back.
And they brought him back.
Because
why did they bring him back?
I'll tell you, if you allow me to answer.
Bring him back?
So Kilmar Abrego Garcia was...
No, I didn't even Google it. That's just a name that popped off the top of my head.
Not an American citizen.
But go ahead, why did they bring him back?
They brought him back because he was under a withholding removal order, which meant that he was... Hold up. I'll answer your question. Just allow me to answer.
Go ahead.
He was deported. He was under a deportation order, but he had a withholding removal order from a judge that said he couldn't be deported to one specific country, El Salvador, because he was an MS-13 gang member. Their motto is literally kill, steal, rape, control. And the judge gave him a protective order because the gangs there would have killed him.
Bow. Oh, man. I mean, obviously, first up, we got the argument that collapsed in real time. He said that they were, the Trump administration, they are deporting, American citizens. And usually, it's followed up by asking for a name. And he gave him Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Illegal entry, human smuggling charges, domestic violence, MS-13 allegations, if you want to say that. And suddenly the phone becomes the most interesting thing in the world. That's not a debate. That's a man realizing the story he was told doesn't survive contact with the actual file. Now, I want you to watch what happens when the same people who defend a story have to watch the enforcement happen in real life.
Yo, that's fucking crazy. That's crazy. That's fucking wild. This is literally happening right outside of my house. Literally right outside of my house. Like, fuck this. Fuck ICE. He was literally heading to work for this to happen. Motherfuckers. Literally. This is fucking crazy. Literally fucking crazy. Motherfuckers. Right at the house. The things that we go through. Fucking crazy. And everything was caught. crazy.
So they filmed ICE in Everett and called it abducting Raza. No mention of, the status, no mention of the law, just the language that turns law enforcement into kidnapping. If a person has no legal right to be here, removing him is an abduction. It's the government doing the one job the open border crowd spent years pretending just didn't exist for whatever reason. And while they were busy filming the streets, something else was happening inside the building.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says that they have identified the leakers who exposed the locations of upcoming immigrations and custom enforcement raids. This is a big deal. And our Bill Malugin has got the details. Bill.
Yeah, John, good afternoon to you. Just a short time ago, DHS officials confirmed to Fox News they say they have identified 2 people within DHS who they say they have caught leaking information about ICE operations to different targets and then put those operations in jeopardy. We got a video from DHS Secretary Kristi Noem herself making this announcement, was just sent over to us. Take a look.
Everyone, I wanted to give you a quick update. We have identified 2 leakers of information here at the Department of Homeland Security who have been telling individuals about our operations and putting law enforcement lives in jeopardy. We plan to prosecute these 2 individuals and hold them accountable for what they've done. And we're going to continue to do all that we can to keep America safe.
And a DHS spokesperson also sent us the following statement on record, which says, quote, "We are preparing to refer these perpetrators to the DOJ for felony prosecutions. These individuals face up to 10 years in federal prison. We will find and root out all leakers. They will face prison time, and we will get justice for the American people." Now, to that point, we do want to point out that this is just a referral. It is ultimately going to be up to the Department of Justice on whether or not they want to move forward with prosecutions of these alleged leakers. You have to keep in mind these individuals, whoever they are, will also have due process, and they would have to be either found guilty or put in a guilty plea if we want to talk about any sort of prison time. But guys, this is obviously very significant. You're looking at video from an ICE raid in Aurora, Colorado last month. I was on that operation. It failed. It leaked. There were media reports that the raid was coming days in advance. The same thing happened for an operation here in Los Angeles. Another operation in Virginia just leaked a few days ago. There was also another leak in Chicago. These leaks have been widespread. It has happened multiple times. They have seemed to be getting worse and worse. And we've seen people from the Trump administration going on television saying that these leaks are putting ICE officers in jeopardy. It's putting the operations in jeopardy, and that they're going to track down, find these leakers, and prosecute them. And according to DHS and Secretary Noem, it appears they've taken the first step towards that process. Again, they say they've identified 2 people within DHS. That's important. They're within the Department of Homeland Security, so they're privy to this information, and they're going to seek to prosecute them. They'll send those referrals over to DOJ. DOJ will take a look at it. It will be up to DOJ to decide whether or not to move forward with any type of potential prosecution. But some breaking news here on this Friday for you guys, John.
All right, Bill Malugin for us with the breaking news update. Bill, thank you.
So,
Sandra?
All right.
Back in February, DHS, yes, this is obviously older clip, DHS identified 2 of their own people leaking upcoming ICE raid locations. Not criticizing policy, not writing articles, handing the information to the target so agents would show up to empty houses. That wasn't some random one-off either. It was a clear sign that while enforcement was starting to ramp up, there were still people inside the building actively working against it. And now the operations are getting bigger and more frequent. The same internal resistance is the exact reason these leaks had to be hunted down and referred for prosecution. Now, I want you to watch what happens when the same mindset gets put on the spot in public, and the person asking the questions doesn't raise a voice once.
That's here illegally and committed crimes. They can't do it.
You know what that's called? That's called the fucking police.
The local police does not, they don't deport people. ICE does.
Okay, well, here's the thing, though. Say that, they want to get these criminal, or they want to, convict the criminal, get them out, right? You want to know an easy way to know if someone been an easy way to get criminals, go to the fucking jail cells, get the people that have already been convicted, get them out, not random people on the fucking streets.
Okay, so again, we're just going to talk calmly here. These people are pedophiles and they are criminals. Give me 1 second before your impulse tells you to interrupt me, okay? 1 second. If you don't want ICE going around, if you don't want them to exist, if you want them abolished, these people would still be in our streets. These people would still be going out and raping children. There is no one that could deport them. They don't have the agency to do that. And I think it's dangerous to start telling local law enforcement that they can go and start deporting people. ICE has the power under Title 8 to do this. So tell me, how do we remove these people if we abolish ICE?
Simple. Just lock them up for crimes that they've committed. If they committed crimes, they should be jailed. Just not even, just ignore the deportation process. And the fact that you're trying to...
But these are federal crimes. These are federal crimes that are handled by the federal government because they are illegal.
What is a federal... How is it a federal crime to be protesting? Why did a mother have to get shot in the face 3 times?
We can talk about that after you tell me how on earth we're going to get these people out without ICE. Local law enforcement, and you want to talk about constitutional and it being legal?
I'm well aware. Get the back.
Why are you getting so angry?
Because the country being run by fucking criminals and nobody's doing anything. And people like you are defending actions of fucking terrorists.
And people like you are defending these pedophiles being in Minnesota by wanting to abolish ICE and get them out of here.
I'm not defending those fucking pedophiles. If you're trying to argue that we need to get rid of these people, that these are fucking pedophiles, then get the fucking pedophiles in the White House out now.
Yeah, okay. It's weird that you were against certain pedophiles, but not these ones. But I appreciate your time. If you calm down at all and you want to have a further discussion, you can come find me. But your impulse...
I'll have a further conversation when you actually get a brain.
Yeah. All right. That's fine. Low impulse control. Low impulse.
Can you answer a question when you're asked it?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, what do you think about the Epstein files?
Yeah, I think they should be released.
Okay, and what if Trump's name is in it?
Well, then that would be awful and disgusting. He should go to jail.
Thank you.
Okay. Did you expect me to say he shouldn't?
Well, you seem to be defending him, and he's got a lot of evidence against him that he's in there.
Yeah, so what's the evidence?
The pictures.
What pictures?
The picture of him with Epstein.
Yeah, so that means he's a pedophile.
If he hangs out with a pedophile?
So is Obama, Clinton, the Clintons, and all of them, were they pedophiles too?
I'm talking to her. She's my friend. She can help me.
Yeah. Well, you got this. You got this. I'm not asking for help from anyone. I'm talking because I believe in this stuff, and I believe I know what I'm talking about. So you tell me what proof is that he's a pedophile? Because if you were to take a picture with someone that raped someone else on a college campus, would you be also a rapist?
No, but what about him and the porn star?
Yeah. How is he a pedophile?
Because
so you don't think he's a pedophile? You're trying to twist her words.
Tell me. Because if he's in the Epstein files, there's a high chance that he partook in it.
Okay. So if that's the only proof that you have, that's not enough. You're going to have to tell me proof that he has sexually assaulted or raped a child.
You're making me uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird that, you guys want to talk about pedophiles. So what do you think about ICE? Oh, if you took the sign out in front of your face, I could actually talk to you, ma'am. Go ahead and take the sign. You're acting like the Grinch when the Grinch has the bag in front of his head before, after he shaves. It's takes it off. Take it off, Grinch. And then he puts his boots in front. Take that off. And so just show your face.
No, ma'am, I don't want my stuff on camera. And that's a totally human right. I don't have to have my stuff on camera.
Yeah.
And now Caitlin Bennett, she just stands there calm, chilling, no yelling. Meanwhile, the people across from her are shaking, pointing fingers, and throwing out every accusation they can think of. Now, when your position requires that much volume just to stay standing, it's usually because the position itself is weak. I don't know. I'm just a guy. And while the arguments continue on the sidewalk, the policy is already moving.
Right now, ICE planning dramatically to ramp up operations to deport Haitian migrants here in the U.S. This after the U.S. Supreme Court sided with the Trump team, ruling that TPS, known as temporary protected status, is temporary. Federal sources telling Fox that Ohio is heavily targeted. Let's get into that now with Chad Wolf, former acting DHS secretary. Thanks for coming back, and good day to you. Here are the numbers as they only apply to Haiti during the Biden years, going back to fiscal year 2025. I would draw the attention of our viewers to that bottom line number. Total encounters of Haitians under the Biden administration, almost 500,000. Chad, what now?
Yeah, look, Haiti had TPS since 2010, so going on almost 16 years, where each administration just kept extending it and extending it. And I think the Trump administration, as they have across about 9 or 10 different countries, have said that temporary protective status is just that, it's temporary. So the idea is that these individuals, if they don't adjust status, will need to leave the country, and ICE is there to enforce that order of removal.
Okay, so Chad, here's my question. I remember when this was happening, there were several countries who were given TPS, and Haiti was just one of them. So why is the attention on the Haitians right now, or is this just the first group?
Yeah, I don't think it's just going to be on the Haitians. I think it's going to be on all of those individuals, like I said, across 8 or 9 different countries that the administration has ended TPS on. They're all going to be targets for removal. And so I don't think it'll just be the Haitians, although that's going to be the largest group, as you indicated with those numbers. The Biden administration not only extended TPS, but then allowed a lot of these Haitians to come in on parole and other types of status coming in. And the administration has ended all of that, getting back to the original intent of immigration law. So, again, the focus, I don't believe, from ICE will just be on Haitians, but that's obviously what's being reported now. But there'll be other groups as well.
Okay.
Of course there will be. Hundreds of thousands of Haitians who were under the temporary protected status just lost their protection. Ohio was getting surged first because the numbers there are pretty high. Now, temporary was always supposed to mean temporary. The people who treated it like permanent residency are the same ones now calling the end of it cool. You can keep moving the goalposts, all you want to, but you can't keep moving the goalposts and then act shocked when the field finally gets measured. All right, y'all. Last one. This is the Pierce version of the mindset.
I understand what you're asking me.
I'm asking you, please.
I don't believe that this is a lawful deportation, and I'm not going to move because this is illegal. Please. Someone doesn't have a warrant out for his arrest. This is Gestapo tactics.
Yeah, some guys just other things like you, we cover the face, and I feel scared. Yeah, the tension is.
All right, Eduardo, step out of the car, okay?
Okay.
I'm an immigration police officer. I need you to step out of the car.
The location is where I'm born.
Senor. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not gonna
Hey, leave around.
Eduardo, is that you?
Move right forward so I can knock it.
Okay. No.
Just move forward to the car.
No. What is happening here?
Your neighbor is being kidnapped by ICE.
Now, a woman watches her husband gets detained and says it isn't a lawful deportation. Now, marriage to a citizen doesn't erase illegal entry. Never should have, right? But it never has. The law doesn't work like a wedding gift. She chose to build a life on a status that was never secure. The consequences arrive. It doesn't make the law unfair. It makes the uglier assumption expensive. And I'm saying this based on the caption here, everybody. I mean, let's just look at the full picture for a second, though. A man on the street couldn't name a single actual citizen being deported, so he reached for a trafficker. People film lawful arrests and call them abductions. Employees inside the department leak the operations. Street interviews turn into emotional explosions over basic questions. Temporary protections that were never permanent finally expire. And a spouse stands there claiming marriage rewrote. Well, she ain't necessarily say that, but the idea is that marriage, can rewrite immigration law. Every single one of these moments comes from some root, the same root, actually. The belief that feelings, proximity, or good intentions can override the actual rules. We know they can't. A country that refuses to enforce its borders eventually stops being a country and starts being a location. And locations don't protect anyone for long. And the people who spent years insisting this would never happen are now watching it happening in 4K and still are refusing to adjust the story. It's not compassion, man. It's denial. Now, I'll leave you with that. If you made it to the end of this video, I want you to write the word measured. Let every person be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. Romans 13:1. Be safe. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.